Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Legendary Leaders. I am your host, Katrina Jameson. I'm the founder of Legend Leaders, where we arm female business leaders with the strategies they need to live life on their terms, a legendary life. It is March. We are talking about mental hacks for the month of March, things that we can do in our brains to change the way we think about things, the way that we view things in order to set ourselves up for success, right? Really diving deep into what I call our personal leadership pillar. If we can change our mindset, if we can change the meaning of things, then we can enjoy ourselves that much more. Then our lives are truly lived on our terms. Because again, we define the meaning. We don't let the world define it, we define it. So what is our hack number 2 for the month of March? It is stop moving the freaking finish line, people. Stop moving the finish line. What am I talking about? Okay, let's see if you've ever done this, or maybe you are a repeat offender and you do this regularly. You sit down on Magnificent Monday, right? Because it's not Manic Monday anymore if you listen to last week. You sit down on a Magnificent Monday and you sit down and you plan out what you're going to accomplish for the week. Now, how do I know that you probably do this at some point? At the latest you do it on Monday? Is because you're a high achiever. If you weren't a high achiever, you probably wouldn't be listening to me, okay? So you're a high achiever, you sit down, you're planning out what you're gonna tackle and do for the week, and when you finish your to-do list and the meeting list and all of the things that you're gonna tackle and achieve, you look at it and you say, man, this looks really good. When I get this done, I'm gonna celebrate. This is amazing. I'm going to be so excited, I'm gonna be so proud of myself. I'm going to feel accomplished. I'm going to feel like I really spent my time well this week, right? Those are things we say to ourselves. Maybe you say something a little different, but it's along those same lines. I'm sure it is, all right? So you sit down and you do all of those things. Create the list. Then you go execute it. And you are just amazing. You're brilliant. You deliver on all the pieces. You're juggling everything, but you're having fun doing it. You're living your best life. It's fun. You're enjoying all the things that you've gotten accomplished. But then what happens? You get to Friday, and you take a look at your list, and everything's done, but what do you do to yourself? You move the finish line. You say things like, well, I got that done, but I probably could have gotten 2 or 3 other things like that done too. So I can't really celebrate that I got that done. And yeah, I did solve that problem in that one meeting, but I probably should have solved it sooner. It took me too long to really think through and give the answer. I should have been better about that, so no, I'm not going to count that. And, I did meet with all of my team individually this week and gave them really candid feedback, but, I probably should have given them that feedback sooner. I could have been better about that. And so what you start doing is you start assessing everything on your to-do list and you start saying the yeah, but, right? Yeah, but. Yeah, I did it, but. Yeah, I got that done, but. And then you start putting all these qualifiers on the functions, the tasks, the meetings, the conversations, whatever it was, that was on your list. And you essentially devalue everything that you just accomplished. You move the finish line. And so now you don't feel like you finished anything because you did the yeah, but. And let me tell you, nothing hurts your momentum more than moving the finish line. Every week you start out and you think that you're going to run a sprint. And so you create a time frame that's a sprint. And then at the end of it on Friday, you move the finish line again and now you're running a marathon. Well, you didn't train for a marathon. You trained for a sprint. And there's a reason for that. We all, as human beings, need positive feedback. We need positive momentum. And the way in which we achieve that and keep that in our lives is that we set clear deadlines, clear targets and deadlines, and we say, this is the finish line. It does not move. We aim for that finish line, and when we cross it, we celebrate. We must. Now, if you want to put qualifiers on all the things that you want to get done during the week, I'm cool with that. Look, as your strategist, let me tell you, I am proud of you for being the achiever that creates the list, that writes down the things that you're going to get done, because we have to have targets in order to know where we're going. So that's awesome. I'm proud of you. But I'm going to tell you, if you're going to create targets and then you want qualifiers on, yeah, but I should have done it like this, or yeah, I should have done it like that, then put the qualifiers in when you create the list of to-dos. That's fine. You can't play a game and win, and then after the fact, somebody changes the rules and they're like, oh yeah, but by the way, you lost because we just created these new rules after the game and you didn't win. And you're like, what? I'm never going to play that game again. I'm at least never going to play with you because you changed the rules on me. And I don't want to be in a situation where I can never win, right? That's what you're doing if you're moving the finish line at the end of every week. Don't change the rules. If you want qualifiers, hey, I need to have this conversation and it should probably last 30 minutes. I want to deliver this presentation. This is the type of feedback I want to receive. I'm going to define success as. It's fine. I encourage every client, every group, every team that I work with that when you're creating targets, you need to define what success looks like. You must. So do it. That's fine. But don't do it after the fact. It's not fair. It's not fair. I want you to have that momentum. I want you going into, Friday evening, Saturday, Thursday, whatever day it is that you end your to-do list, and whatever day that is for you on the calendar, that afternoon, I want you celebrating. I want you looking back and going, man, there were 15 things on my list. I was crazy to put 15 things on my list, but I did. I got 10 of them done. I'm really proud of myself. I really stretched. I really pushed myself. I delivered these things with quality. That's positive momentum. I'm going to go celebrate. I can tell you that I did not do a very good job of that when I lived in the corporate world. I didn't. It was like whew, thank God, that's over. I finished. Okay, let me go rest my brain a little bit. I'll get up next week and do it again. And if we're not intentional, that's the world that we're going to live in. So I'm challenging you, be intentional. On my calendar right now, and it's been there for quite a while, every Friday afternoon, because that's my work week. That's how I've defined it, right? Where I'll work actively in Legend. But every Friday afternoon, I sit down and look back on all of the things that I said I was going to do in the week and how I was going to show up and who I was going to serve and how I was going to impact, because that's how I measure me. And when I deliver on those pieces, I have it blocked off in my calendar on Friday afternoon, and it's called reward. And that reward doesn't have to be crazy. It doesn't mean that I'm going to go out and buy a new car or anything. It just means that I can sit down for an hour if I want to and watch a show on TV. Or I can grab a really good book that is a fictional book and read it and enjoy it and just celebrate. I get to do something that's a reward, and it's intentional to keep the momentum and help me move forward. So I'm challenging you right now. I want you to look at yourself and be honest. Are you moving the finish line? And if the answer is yes, love yourself enough to be willing to be fair to yourself. Because you wouldn't come back and play the same game with you if you kept changing the rules after the fact. So don't. Stop changing the rules. Get specific, define success before you get into the task, and then celebrate the heck out of it. Okay? Even if you miss the mark a little bit, celebrate. Because if you hadn't set it up, you probably wouldn't have gotten it done in the first place. Right? So the fact that you created the target is a win in and of itself. So please, celebrate. Praise yourself. Give yourself the momentum. Don't derail. Don't put yourself down. You're amazing. Okay? Stop moving that finish line. Go and be legendary.